Welcome back, everybody, to your Game of Thrones recaps. Today is Season 4, Episode 3, Breaker of Chains. My name's Kyle Maddock. Let's get right to it. In the aftermath of the Purple Wedding, Ser Dontos leads Sansa through the back alleys of King's Landing in search of one of the big pellets that will allow him to eat the ghosts he constantly sees. He and Sansa manage to make it the 10 blocks to the harbor in only 7 hours, where they take a tiny boat to an even bigger boat. On board, a shadowy, mysterious, and creepy figure is revealed to be Littlefinger, who is now just shadowy and creepy. Littlefinger has Ser Dontos killed, tells Sansa that everything she's experienced in the last month has been a lie, and then reassures her that she can trust him, which she does, without question. Elsewhere in the capital, the Lannisters are in an uproar over Joffrey's death. Tywin grills Tommen, who is now the king, over what it takes to be a good ruler. Tommen gives a dozen wrong answers before getting the right one. Wisdom. Tywin rolls his eyes and wonders why all his grandchildren seem a little slow. We're soon reminded of why that is as Jaime and Cersei grieve over Joffrey. Cersei asks Jaime to kill Tyrion, who she blames for Joffrey's death. Then they show an incestuous rape scene in a church next to a body of their dead son on Easter Sunday. Because that's the type of show this is. Not one to mourn or feel anything at all, Tywin tracks down Prince Oberyn, who is in the middle of his quest to have sex with the entire world. Tywin accuses Oberyn of poisoning Joffrey, but Oberyn tells him that he only wants to kill the Mountain and Tywin. And for some reason, Tywin is okay with this, and names him a judge in Tyrion's trial. Meanwhile, in the bowels of the Red Keep, Tyrion awaits certain doom in the Ned Stark Memorial Prison. Podrick visits him and says that he's been offered knighthood in exchange for testifying against Tyrion. Now, as good as Sir Paul, baby, just Sir Paul sounds, Podrick stays loyal to Tyrion, and they try to solve Joffrey's murder like it's CSI King's Landing. But first, Pod has to calm Tyrion down, telling him that being sentenced to death is nothing to lose your head over. At Dragonstone, Stannis is still pissed at Davos for sending Gendry away as the leech trick totally worked on Joffrey. And now Stannis, he'll actually have to burn his enemies alive instead of just using magic. Davos tells him not to worry, as they can just hire the Expendables to fight for them. But unfortunately, Stannis spent the last of his money on leeches, so there's no way to pay anyone. So Davos goes to see Shireen to ask her for financial advice, and gets the idea of writing to the Iron Bank of Bravos, and asking them to send money, because that's how banks work, right? In the Riverlands, Arya and the Hound continue their road trip. Arya thinks they're lost and wants the Hound to pull into a gas station and ask for directions. But before they can, a farmer comes by and tells them they're on his land. Arya lies and says the Hound is her dad, and half lies and says her mom is dead. So the farmer takes them in and offers them rabbit stew. In his house, Arya and the Hound can't wait to finish saying grace before they drink their stew directly from the bowl, instead of politely slurping it in between breaks in conversation. The farmer offers the Hound a job, but to the Hound, a job is where you beat someone up and take their money. And Arya, having completely forgotten that her lying got them there, yells at the Hound for stealing. Aww. What a sweet little hypocrite. Up north, Sam is worried that Gilly isn't safe at Castle Black, where her and her baby have a nice place to stay, food, and Sam to protect them. So he takes her to Molestown so she can live in a drafty whorehouse mud pit, alone. Meanwhile, Ygritte and the rest of the Wild Bunch raid a small village. The Then leader tells a little boy that he's going to eat his parents, so he'd better do what he says and warn the Night's Watch, or else he'll still eat his parents, as he doesn't understand how threats work. The boy reaches Castle Black and warns them of the Wildling party, but Sir Alistair Douchebag says the Wall is their priority. And just then, Ed and Gren finally make it back and tell the rest of the Night's Watch that the traitors that killed Lord Mormont are living comfortably with lots of women at Craster's Keep and sees who wants to come back with them. Before anyone can answer, John Boner Killer tells them that Mance's radar thinks they have 1,000 men instead of just 100. So they'd better go up to Craster's Keep and kill their former brothers before they sell them out to the wildlings. Whew. Finally, outside of Marine, Danny's army has shown up at the city gates. After a lengthy argument over who's going to knock on the door, the Marinese decide they're tired of waiting and send someone out to say hi. The World Heavyweight Champion of Marine! After an even lengthier argument over who's going to fight him, Dario Naharis gets the honor and kills the champ before he can even open his mouth. Danny then yells at the entire city, but no one can hear her, so she catapults thousands of pairs of handcuffs over the wall, making her message clear to the slaves of Marine. These are all for you. Stuck on a boat with Littlefinger, Sansa wishes for her old life back. Cersei sends Jaime out to pick up some bread and milk and Sansa. And Danny desperately tries to find the password she needs to get into Club Marine. And there's your recap for Breaker of Chains. Make sure you tune in again next week for our episode 4 recap. And if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe below to get recaps all season long.